Good morning and welcome back to the Vision Alignment Show, where we talk so much about the importance of having our core beliefs, our core values aligned with our vision. So we've got a great show for you lined up for today. Now, I haven't heard from my guest yet, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it or not. If he does, great. If he doesn't, that's okay too. We're going to have some good fun and learn a little bit more about a few different things that I'm working on. So, again, the Vision Alignment Show is to understand your core beliefs and your core values and how they're aligned with your vision. Now, when, you might ask, when is the first time that I knew of my vision? Well, I would say it was about 2 years after I had brain surgery. So I had brain surgery in April of 2011. And when I had that surgery, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to help people. I had no idea I was going to help people. I was in IT sales at the time, and I thought that that's what my job was going to be. I thought I was going to be an IT salesman again. And 2 years after that, my friend of mine, Bill, who introduced me to another friend of mine named Carrie. And from there, I just realized that my goal, my direction in life had changed. Didn't know how I was going to do it. Didn't know when I was going to separate myself from the corporate world, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to help somebody. Didn't know how I was going to pay for my kids' colleges. Didn't know how I was going to provide for my family. Didn't know how I was going to be able to eat or go on vacations or anything like that. But now I've done all those things over the last 5 years plus, and it's just been phenomenal. So to see how I've been blessed with all that God has given me, and just really being able to do all this. So if you're online today, please comment, put in a hashtag live, hashtag replay, all that. If you're listening in. If you have questions for me, please ask me. If you have questions for Terry Brock, who may be joining us here shortly, ask me as well. I also wanted to let you know that I am a little visually impaired this morning. I'm always visually impaired, but I'm a little more visually impaired. I don't know why, because maybe I had too much sun yesterday. That's a possibility. With my youngest son's graduation from college. We sat outside. It was in the mid 60s, but it was all sun all day long. So I got a little hoarse from that. And I also, I got a little too much sun. So anyway, yes, I should have worn a hat. But wanted to let you know about that. If you see me gazing a little extra at the screen here, that's because I can't find my mouse, or I can't find other things that are important for me to be able to do this. Anyway, so a couple people on here this morning. Good morning, Ted. It's good to see you this morning. It's always good to see you. And I hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting better as time continues on. And then my friend Jamie Luna. Jamie Luna and I go back probably 40 years. So we were in different worlds then. I was a farmer. I worked at my dad's farm, and Jamie happened to be one of the pickers, and with his dad, Estulio Senior, Luna. So and there's a great family there with Emma and Junior and Jamie as well, and then I believe it's Melissa. Help me out here, Jamie. But that would be great if you let me know the other members of the family. So yeah, that's important. Now we have some other people on here this morning. Let's see. I'm looking for my mouse. Hang on. And there's my friend Linda. Good morning this morning, Linda. It's good seeing you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Congratulations with Colin graduating. Our youngest son graduated from college. Oh my gosh. It's incredible. So he's going on to do great things. I mean, I'm all three of my kids are phenomenal. They really are much better kids, much better students, much better people than I ever was at that age. So just so happy for them. But yes, thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. And then our good friend Ken. Good morning, Ken. It's good to see you this morning, and thank you for the congratulations. That's awesome. So yeah, graduation day was a huge day. I mean, we sat out in the sun. We were at the Ohio Stadium. We sat out in the sun, and we had one main speaker. The main speaker was the CEO from Intel, and he was phenomenal. Did a really good job. But then after him, there were a couple of other people that just spoke from the heart, and they weren't speakers, but they were there to get their honorary degrees. They were very, very good, and they just spoke, like I said, from their heart. Anyway, having said that, that to me makes me think back to internal or personal congruence. I think I heard the word from the phrase first about 5 years ago from my friend Patrick Donadio, and Patrick told me he's has a mentor, and the mentor is named Nito Cobain. And Nito Cobain is a huge guy in the speaking world and also in the collegiate world. So he is the president for High Point University. I think that's right. So yeah, great guy. Anyway, he told Patrick one day about internal or personal congruence. And so you might be asking yourself, what does personal congruence mean? Well, what that means is, you have something that you use. For me, example, I have something that I use in my speaker life where I go out and I speak with different groups. I approach them in a certain way. I do this with a CRM. And so Patrick Donito said, well, you can take what you do in this one area of life and do it in the other area. And that would make a lot of sense for you to be able to do that. So much like, excuse me, I'm working with speakers, and I'm president of the NSA, a National Speakers Association here in Ohio. But we have awards that we're going to hand out. Well, it just so happens that's an NSA. It just so happens that at the Ohio State School for the Blind, where I'm actually I'm not really a teacher, not a certified teacher, but I'm the after-school program coordinator. And at the after-school program, we work with students across multiple different venues. But also one of those is where we don't really work directly with this group, but we have a good relationship with the vocational teacher. And he has award engravings. So it makes perfect sense. It's a nice CNC machine, and there are students there that can see enough to be able to do that. So, the awards that I have with the NSA and the awards that they already provide with with the School for Life, it makes total perfect sense for me to be able to marry those two and to have personal congruence. So that's why that's why I've been able to do that. I mean, just think of all the different areas of your life where you can think, huh, if I took that I'm doing for this group and did the same thing over here, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? So that's what I've been able to do, and I look forward to doing more things like that. So, and there's somebody else on. Oh no, another Luna, Rachel. Thank you very much, Rachel, and thank you for the congratulations. That's awesome. So there's one of the names that I missed, one of the Lunas. My mom, and by the way, my mom yesterday, she was very involved with the Lunas and all the other people that helped us out as well. But my mom is just beautiful. She's still around, still doing well, still, she's going to go out and mow the lawn today. She's going to mow the lawn. She's 92 years old, and she's going to mow the lawn. So part of what her thing is, it's always moving, always doing something. She always will be making pies still, sewing, still, writing out thank yous or checks or whatever the case may be. So she does all those still by hand. And then, I'm impressed with all that she's done. So, if you have a chance, say thank you to Miss Mary Jo, my mom, and anything that any congratulations like that are appreciated. So anyway, that's my mom, and that's personal congruence. So personal congruence again is knowing what you have, knowing what you're doing in one spot, and it makes sense for you to do that because you're connected. Your vision is aligned with your personal core strengths and your core beliefs. So once you have that, it makes total sense to use that in another space. And that's what I've been able to do with all the stuff that's been going on. And by the way, yes, we did have a huge graduation yesterday. We had a great time. We spent a lot of time in the sun. Yes, too much time in the sun. But also we went out to dinner afterwards. We just had a great time with Colin and all that. So I want to make sure that we leave that, but we don't leave that. I don't want to leave the internal congruence part because that's important for us all to understand how important it is to have our core beliefs really set up from that point of view. So again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's important. Now, something else I'm working on these days is I'm working on a new speech, and my keynote speech is been good so far. I want to continue to try to make it better, and making it better, and it really kind of seems strange, but it ends up being less. So I will, as opposed to having 7 or 8 points that I'm going to have people learn on, where I take them from point of blindness to sight to vision, and then also inside of each one of those go deeper into that. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3 separate speeches: one for blindness, one for sight, one for vision. The sight will be the middle one, and that's the one where I where I talk more about my story, if you will. But blindness is blind spots, and all understanding of blind spots and how you see through them. So I talk a lot about them, but also vision is a radical vision. How do you have a radical vision? And that's what I'm going to be doing there as well. But this middle speech that is really important for us all to understand, not only my story, but also how to be encouragers. So I'm an encourager. That's what I do. I encourage people to be better, to do better, to understand how good they already are. And that's a part of the program. So having said that, this encouragement aspect of life is important. So first I talk to the audience about how to receive a letter, how to receive encouragement. Secondly, then we talk about how to write a letter, write encouragement. I tell the story of my daughter who wrote me a note and how important that note was to me. And if I received it the right way, then I would be able to get something from it. It's the way life is. But I also want to make sure that I'm helping people to know how to write a letter like that. So we talk a little bit about the structure. We talk a little bit about the impact that'll have, and how writing that letter will not only affect you, but it's going to affect many other people. So looking forward to continue that. But then the last part of the speech, the last part of the program, is where we talk about what makes us unique and how important it is to understand what makes us all unique. Now, most people would think what makes me unique is my eye. But believe it or not, it's not my eye, it's my wink. And my wink is a permanent wink. Not everybody can say that. So the wink really stands for 4 different things. And the W stands for what's important, or what's important to you. What do you want to get out of today? And then so no matter what you do. So for me, what's important to me, I love to be a positive person. I always love to generate good things from people and to be positive. But you have to be concerned about how you become positive. You won't become positive if you're listening to the news all the time and hearing negative thoughts, staying away from, or being close to negative people. You won't be able to be as positive if you do that. So that's why I talk about the importance of intentionality, being intentional with what makes you, with what's important to you. So for me, the thing I want to be positive. So how do I be intentional? I stay away from the news. I maybe not have as much of that as I have. I stay away from negative people, and I stay away from those negative vampires. That's a hard thing to do at times, but it's important for me. That's how I live my life. So the W and the I, and then the K is for a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life. If we can have that's going to make a big difference for us, because just think about going out and sitting at a different spot at the coffee table, or a different spot at the dinner table, having that different perspective. The different perspective, that makes all the difference in the world, because we can all have a different perspective than what we have today. Now, I think so much about perspective, and by the way, I'm putting together a 52-week video series on perspectives, on how my perspective has changed. So look for that coming out here in the future. But and by the way, my Wink workbook is available online. I have a download for that, free download for that, available to anybody that wants that. And you can share it with your friends and family if you like. So a free download. But anyways, that the new way of looking, a new way of that new perspective, if you will, it's important, because having that, you're going to see things you've never seen before. I mean, it's like my son was talking about how he's on his vacation, and he's going across the north side of the U.S. in an Amtrak train. And I just talked to him last night. He was in Western Montana. Yeah, Western Montana. And, he was amazed at how you could tell different towns were set up to be there for the train. And they were there before then. But there are also towns that were set up to be there, and they're not a part of it. So the towns were there before the train was. So he found that interesting, and I find that interesting because that's a different perspective. It's a different perspective you have when you're on that train. It's also a different perspective when you're in that town. So that's the N. The N is for a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life. And then the K is for kinesthetic. I used to say kinesthetic, but now I say kick it in. And I think it's important for us to kick it in, drive, kick it in, and do something with it. So that's the K, and that's the WINK acronym. So again, W is for what? What's important? The I is for intentionality. The N is for a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life. And the K is for kick it in. So, and that's all in the Wink workbook. There's some other stuff in the Wink book as well. Wink workbook as well. So pick that up and enjoy. Let me know what you think of it. And I can't think of anything else. So, but that's important. Oh, somebody else is on here. Oh, Rachel, I already said yes. Thank you very much, Rachel. If there's ever any other questions, please comment. Let me know. You can do that in real time or do that afterwards and replay. That's cool too. So I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much. And this has been great. If there's ever anything else that I can do for you, I really want to do that. And just remember, as always, to keep one eye on the road. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.